Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of April 8th. Before we get started, let's go ahead and thank the Patreon supporters. We have Mario Casillas, Rep Pally Rocks, Nick Rada, and Peter Burnham. Thank you guys so much for the support. And now let's hop in to talk about what's going on in the game this week. Not a ton of things to mention. This is a quite dry time with news and stuff like that, but we'll go over what is going on. We do have the Darkmoon Fair going on this week. Again, nothing major here, but profession knowledge, all that kind of stuff, mounts, pets, all that. And I always bring it up because I'm a big supporter of the Darkmoon Fair. There's rumors that they're going to be updating it. They've at least said that. And I really hope that is the case because I think there's tons of potential there. And I would love to see that. And so I just bring it up every month. And so that's why you hear me bring it up every month on these videos when it comes around. But the Darkmoon Fair is active for most of this week. We have Arena Skirmish bonus event going on for if you're trying to get honor on a character. We just had some AWC stuff going on. Maybe you're thinking about trying out some PvP from that. So you could do that. We have the PvP role being Deep 6 again. Same thing with the PvP stuff. And other than that, there's not a ton of stuff going on the game. Over on the PCR, people are testing out Horrific Visions more and more coming in the next patch, which is probably going to be next month. The 0.5 patch, maybe towards the end of next month, but we'll see. We could get a date on that pretty soon, probably. I myself might be heading over to the PTR to try some stuff out there. It seems like one of the biggest things they changed is that they added extra difficulties to it if you want. So it was 5 masks. If you played back in the day, you could activate these if you didn't play, I should say, I'll explain it. You could activate these masks that you unlock in the Horrific Visions, and then if you had all of them on at the same time, you get the most possible rewards for it, and it made it a lot more difficult. And essentially, as of now at least, they've added 3 more layers of difficulty onto that to a total of 8 masks that you could unlock and then activate if you like. You'll also be able to farm heroic loot from this, heroic track loot, from doing these Horrific Visions on a high enough level. It's worth noting that to do it at the high level, you'll probably already need pretty decent amount of loot to do that. So it'll probably be very similar to like a tier 11 delve. You probably won't be able, unless you're a certain spec or a certain class, you probably won't be able to just walk in and just farm the loot. However, if it is still group wide like it used to be, you could in theory get carried into heroic loot pretty easily. And yeah, you can get carried in heroic raid pretty easily too, like bring a rat or whatever to your guild's group. But this might be just a little quicker way to do it. But I don't know what the caps on loot will be or anything like that. But it is a way to farm heroic loot. That came out as well. And yeah, so, and then of course, obviously, maybe the biggest thing I'm watching is the corruption enchants that'll be coming to the helm slot item. I've done some videos on this. I'm going to keep monitoring this. And I might go test some out myself on my Rep Paladin for that kind of purpose of testing out how it works for Rep Paladin. It's definitely something I'm thinking about doing because it is a little bit of slow times, not a ton of news like I mentioned. We should have the MDI coming up. I don't remember if it's this weekend, but it very well might be this weekend. We have the MDI coming up. I always like to watch that for like little tricks to make dungeons easier, for like even at the key levels that I'm doing and stuff like that. I'm always down for things that can, make things a little bit easier even, especially when you're trying to fill your vault still, like I still am for now. Trying to fill up my Mythic Plus row of my vault. So, that's something to look out for as well. If you are interested in, whether you're just interested in esports and the MDI in general, or if like me, you're just interested in like, okay, how can I make this dungeon easier? Is there something I can do personally that just makes this dungeon super easy? That is always something that I'm looking for. I already mentioned the AWC. I did not follow it very closely at all. I watched a little bit of NA, Liquid one, I believe, this past weekend. I didn't even watch it that closely, but I did watch it, so it should be Liquid that won, if I remember correctly. But I'm not too big into PvP. If you follow my channel, you know that. Just have faded away from it over time. I used to be into it a decent amount, but not anymore. So I am looking forward to the MDI. And other than that, just looking for more news. We had almost radio silence this past week as far as things go. There was a couple like, little buffs or nerfs or hotfixes, but nothing really too big, nothing that concerned me at all. So we'll be looking for that as well. There could be even some like raid nerfs and stuff like that, but I'm not really sure what to be looking for right now. They did all the dungeon tuning so quickly this patch, and they did it very well. And so it's like almost like this patch is kind of like there's not too much to iterate on. I do think we'll probably have a little bit more class tuning here and there, but I think like the patch is kind of iterated on in a lot of ways. And then of course when the 0.5 comes out, that brings new sets of things to talk about. But until then, it might be a little bit slow. So there's frankly just not a ton of stuff to talk about as of when I'm making this video at least. So yeah, I think we'll just call it here. We'll just do a really quick one this week because there just isn't that much stuff to talk about. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody have a good one.